Like, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you. First of all, you're not my instructor. Second of all, you already done pissed me off. And third of all, like, you need to chill. So, hi everyone. How is everybody doing? So as you all can see, thank you guys. Thank you to everyone who complimented me on my last video of me dyeing my hair. Okay, the final verdict is in. I am doing the other side. I'm so in love with the patch. Not even gonna lie to you. I just love it. I think it's so cute and I encourage everybody to do it. But I'm trying to like get my hair situated. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for all the feedback and all the love that y'all gave me for my hair. I was so nervous and it came out so cute. So for everybody wondering, yes, I am going to do the other side whenever I get a chance. Your girl has just been busy, so I barely had the time to do this. So we'll get to that when I get to that. But I definitely do want to do it, especially now when I'm seeing myself. I'm like, oh, I wish I had the other side. But anywho, how is everybody doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. Like I said, I've been so busy, but I have been doing marvelous. So I hope you guys have been as well. And before we get started, as always, I want to go ahead and do my membership shout out. And today's membership shout out goes to Summer. Thank you so much, Summer, for being a part of my membership and showing me so much love and support just by commenting, engaging with me, liking my stuff, and just being a part of the membership as well. Because like I tell y'all, you guys don't have to support me in that kind of way. And it really, really does mean a lot. Especially, I did want to mention to you guys, it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to get a membership shout out, whether you're on the low tier or the top tier. It doesn't matter. I'm just going, YouTube kind of gives me like a list, but it goes out of order all the time. So I'm just going in that little list that YouTube gave me. So don't worry. If you are a part of the membership, you will eventually get your shout out. Okay. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much, Summer, for being a part of my membership and just showing me all the love and support. I really appreciate you. Now, let's get into this video because let's just get into this video. So I do want to preface this by saying, when I talk about my cosmetology school videos, the whole reason I didn't want to do like a whole cosmetology school experience video is because I do feel like my experience was subjective. I feel like everybody's experience was subjective, and I know I talk a lot of like shit pretty much about the Aveda Institute. I don't want to say that I don't want to just make that blanket statement that Aveda was the issue, because I do get a lot of comments asking me like why I didn't report to school and why I didn't do this and why I didn't do that. First of all, it was so long ago. I was really young too. Like I was 17 when I went to cosmetology school, like straight out of high school. So I didn't see things the way that I see it now looking back. So when I tell these stories, I didn't think of it as deep. I knew something was wrong and I knew things were off and I knew I was being treated differently, but I didn't see it in that moment. Now I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, that was like problematic, really problematic actually. But while I was in it, I just didn't see it that way. And also, like I said, I was young. I was 17, fresh out of high school. I've never experienced life. I never experienced anything out of the little bubble that I knew. I didn't experience people, like different people from different walks of life like that. So I definitely reacted and did things a lot differently than what I would do now. And so I want y'all to keep that in mind when I'm telling this story, because like I said, with these stories, it's just an experience. It's just me sharing how things happened at that time. Would I do things differently? Sure. Would I react the way that I did? Probably not. But if I didn't, then it wouldn't be a story. So let's go ahead and get started. But I did wanted to preface that because all the good Samaritans in the world are always like, oh my God, you did too much. Oh my God, you were so childish. I know, okay? I know. So anyway, let's go ahead and take it back. So like I said, I went to the Aveda Institute. That's no secret, nothing new. And basically, Aveda was just so strict on dress code and attendance. So I think I mentioned this before, how like you weren't allowed to miss a certain amount of Saturdays and you were not allowed to be late. School started at 9, and if you were not in the door by 9 o'clock, it would lock on you, and that was it. You had to go home for the day. And dress code was strictly enforced. Those two things come up, so get ready. If you were late or you were out of dress code, you got sent home for the day, and that was it. Now, if you know anything about cosmetology school, or I think any kind of trade school, everything goes by hours. So missing a day in like regular school is just like whatever, you can make up the work, turn it in later, whatever. Missing a day in cosmetology school is hours, and it just throws you off. So if you miss one day of school, you missed 8 hours. So that cuts into your graduation time, and that cuts into like a whole bunch of stuff. So it was always very important that you got to school on time and you were in dress code. I was rarely ever late for school. And if I was late, that just meant I wasn't gonna go. So I was always on top of it. Now, the school was like, Aveda is all about like helping the environment or whatever. So it's always a repurposed like facility. They never build a school. They always take an existing building and remodel it to make it the institute. So the school that we were at used to be an old car dealership. So you had to walk across, like it was in a mall plaza. So like you had to either park in the mall, or you had to like, because you weren't allowed to park in the front. It's really weird. But you had to park across the street. So this morning I was still in the introduction phase. So we did a lot of classroom work. So when I walked in, I clocked in on time, go to the classroom, and our teacher was telling us that we were gonna work in our textbooks that day. So because you had a bunch of stuff, like they give you a bunch of stuff, a lot of times I would leave like the stuff we didn't use every day in my car. So that would be the textbooks, the workbooks, perm rods, the duffel bag, like stuff like that you didn't really need. I left it in my car. So our teacher was like, hey, everybody go get their textbooks. So we had lockers and stuff, but I still had to go get mine out of my car. So everybody else was in the locker area, the locker hallway area. I was the only one that actually had to go to my car. So as I previously mentioned, not only did I have to go outside, but I had to cross the street to go to the parking lot to get the textbook. So I clocked in at 9. I went to my classroom. We were going to get our textbooks. So this had to have been like 9:03, 9:05, somewhere in the 9:00s, okay? So I go to my car, grab my book, I'm jolly coming back into the building. So the way the building was set up, since we were going through the side door, it was all glass. So obviously 9 o'clock had passed, so the door locked. So I just, not thinking anything of it, I go up to the door and I see this one girl. And she is the epitome of like teacher's pet, goody two shoes, just doing the most, like always just wanting to be seen, heard. She was one of the girls that like knew the motto by heart, because for whatever reason, I don't know, she thought that was gonna make her graduate earlier. I don't know. This girl, she rubbed me the wrong way. I don't align with people like that. So I go and I knock on the door, and this fool has the nerve to look at me through the window and be like, and so I'm just like, open the door. What are you doing? Like, open the door. What is your problem? So she's doing like this to me, and I'm just like, I'm not late. Open the door. And she's just like, so as most people I feel would react, I was pissed, okay? I was just like, girl, open the door. So I'm like sitting on the outside like a dummy. I'm like, open the door. Like, what are you doing? Open the door. And she's just like, and this girl turns around and walks away. So I'm just like, this girl really sat here and left me outside. Like, you're really gonna do that? So I'm like banging on the door. I'm banging on the door. And I'm just like banging, like going crazy for somebody to open the door, because the main entrance, first of all, we were not allowed to use the main entrance. And second of all, that was like a walk away when you could literally just open the door for me. Even if I was late, even if that was the case, like, girl, do you get a discount on your tuition for not opening the door for me? Like, what did you get out of that? So I'm banging on the door and somebody was in the bathroom, so they let me in. So I get into my classroom and I'm pissed. I'm like, what is your problem? Like, I was going off because I was like, what is this girl's problem with me? Like, this is ridiculous. I cannot believe that she really just did that. So mind you, like I said, I was a very big, like, I was a hothead, and I already felt a type of way because, like I said, the girls in that school, like besides the direct people in my class, they were all like that. Just so goody two shoes, like always did the most, always wanted to be like that girl. And it was just so annoying. And I just, like I said, I don't get why people are like that, especially when you get nothing out of it. So I didn't know who it was because, mind you, this was still like the beginning stages of our school and our class or whatever. So I'm just like, who is that girl? Like, do y'all know who that girl is? Then everybody was like confused because, you know, everybody up in there looked the same, because I'm just like, she got blonde hair, blue eyes, like, you know, everybody in the school looked like Taylor Swift. So I'm just like, do y'all know who that girl was that was in there, like that was in the break room that didn't let me in? And no one had any idea who that girl was. So I was like, I had it in my head that when we went on break, when we like broke up or whatever, I was going to confront this girl. I was going to find her because she had to have been in a class like above me, because she was out on like the salon floor and we were still in the classroom. So I already had it in my head that I was going to confront her when I saw her, because you're not going to sit there and do that to me, especially like, it was hot. It was in the middle of June. It's hot. You got me out here in this weather. I was just pissed all the way around, okay? So, mind you, we have a dress code that we have to wear like all black, and you kind of had to like look put together all the time or whatever. So, I'm wearing this skirt. It's like a pencil skirt, but it had like a little slit in the back. It was like one of those, like, so that you can move your legs type of thing. It wasn't like an actual slit. Well, I did not know this and I didn't pay attention, but the thread that was keeping it closed was broken. And so as I'm walking throughout the day, the slit is unknowingly to me is getting bigger and bigger, and like the skirt is, you know, showing more of my legs. Now, obviously, we have a dress code that you couldn't wear a certain, like, if you wore a skirt, it had to be to your knees. If you had to be this, that, and the third. It was just the most, okay? So, whatever. I'm going about my day. I'm still pissed about the girl. Like, I'm still trying to find her and confront this girl or whatever. So, apparently, not only did she not let me in, but she decided to tell her instructor that I was trying to get in. And so obviously, compared to everybody else, I was a very distinct face. So when we went to go on our break, we were all in the break room and we were just chilling, talking. And my instructor came up to me and was like, "Were you late today?" And I was like, "No, why?" And she was like, "Well, because one of the instructors said that you came in past 9 o'clock. And I was like, "Yeah, I was here. And then I went to my car to go get the book. And when I came in, some girl decided not to let me in for whatever reason." And so she was like, "Oh, okay, well, I just want to let you know that like they think that you're late. So your hours are going to be messed up. You got to talk to the lady that's in charge of the hours, because this girl went as far as to snitch on me, and her instructor went as far to tell the lady that's in charge of my hours that I basically clocked in late, or I tried. You couldn't even mess with the system, because the way it was is that you put in your code and you had to put your hand. So it's not like I could call my homegirl and be like, "Hey, I'm running in late. Can you clock in for me?" Like, you can't do that. So I'm just like, why is everybody acting like this is such, first of all, why is everybody acting like this is such a big deal? If I was late and I finished the system, who cares? Like, oh my God, we were there. It was like 11:30 by this point. Like, is 2 hours really gonna like be the difference maker? Do we really have to call the police about it? Like, relax. So I go into the guidance office, or I'm gonna call it the guidance office, but it was the hours lady. So I go into her office and I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. People are saying that I was late when I wasn't. And she was like, oh yeah, somebody said that you were late. One of the instructors told me that you came in late, so we canceled your hours. And I was like, okay, but I wasn't late. You can check the cameras, you can ask around. I was here. I went to my car to get something, and that's when I came back at like 9:05, I guess. And everybody, for whatever reason, thinks I'm late. I'm telling you, y'all, you would think that this was just like the biggest deal in the entire world, okay? So I'm upset, and like now my like rage is building, because I'm just like, this girl really just snitched on me after not letting me in, and now I'm fighting for my life to prove that I was here on time. What is going on? So I'm telling this, and I'm just like, do you know the name of the girl? And she's like, oh, even if I did, I couldn't tell you, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. So I go back to my classroom, didn't think anything of it. Mind you, while all this is going on, the slit in the back of my skirt is just getting wider and wider and wider. So at this point in time, the part of the class that we were in, we had to go to the front where all the products are. So our teacher is talking to us about all the products and going on and on and on about all this other stuff. And mind you, I'm still mad, so I'm like barely paying attention. So then I see the instructor that was basically like trying to get my hours revoked, because I knew it was her, because she came into my classroom, saw that I was in there, because she came in there. Okay, so boom, right? The instructor came to my classroom for something completely different, saw that I was in the classroom, and decided to tell my instructor, oh, by the way, why is she in here? She's late, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's how I knew who the instructor was. So now I'm just like looking at that instructor dirty. I cannot stand her. I'm telling y'all, I did not like a lot of the instructors that were in there, because once again, it was just like a lot of times I felt as if they made such a big deal about things that were not that serious. And I also felt like they were worried about the wrong things. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just being me, but it really did bother me. It got on my last nerve. So when I'm seeing her, I'm just like, I'm rolling my eyes at her. I'm being very disrespectful, but like quietly disrespectful. Like whenever she would walk by and we would make eye contact, I'd be like, so childish. But yeah, I would do that anytime she walked by or anytime I saw her. So when we get up, because this is time for us to go to lunch, when we get up and I start walking, I'm walking with another one of my friends, one of my classmates that was in the class. So we're walking together, and out of nowhere, so we're walking down the hallway out the school, right? Out of nowhere, I hear, young lady. And obviously that's not my name, so I'm just going to keep walking. I was just gonna keep walking, and that's exactly what I did. So then the girl that I was with, she was like, why is somebody yelling? Like, what is their problem? Next thing you know, this instructor, okay, comes behind me, and like, cause I ain't even gonna lie to you, my butt was out. Like when I realized, when I was in the bathroom and I saw how like when I went to the bathroom and I saw how high the slit had gotten, I was like, oh, my cheeks were showing. I was mooning people. But I don't know. I guess I didn't feel the wind up there. I don't know. But I was just walking, minding my business. And when the lady, she comes up behind me, and the two parts of the skirt that was slit, she like closes them together. And I was like, what the heck? So then I turned around. I was like, yo, what happened? And she was like, you're completely out of dress code. Do you understand that you're completely out of dress code? So not only did you come in late today, and for whatever reason you're still here, but you're also going to wear a skirt that's really that high? Are you serious? You need to change immediately. And I'm just like, relax. Like, first of all, you need to calm down. Is it really that serious? Like, okay, this is a group of all girls. This whole school is a bunch of girls. And so what? Like, okay, I get it. It was a wardrobe malfunction. This was not like a choice that I made today. Can you turn it down a little bit? So I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, your skirt. And so then the girl that I was with, she's like, oh my God, Samantha, like, it's really high. And I was like, oh, dang, that's crazy. And so I didn't think anything of it. I just completely dismissed that woman. I didn't care about her. Because when my friend was like, oh, yes, Samantha, I just started laughing. I was like, oh, man, my butt is out. So then I was like, oh, dang, okay. So what I did was I turned the skirt to the side so that the slit was more so on my thigh than my butt until I got to the bathroom. So when I turned the skirt and I started walking to the bathroom, she was like, you can't have a slit like that. No, you need to go home. What is your name? And I'm like, at this point, she made me so mad. I was like, what is your problem? Like, I'm going to the bathroom to fix it. I didn't do this on purpose. And she was like, why are you still here? You were late today. And I'm like, no, I wasn't, for the 1,000th time. Like, I was so annoyed. I was like, I was not late today. That girl did not let me in. I went to my car to go get my textbook. I was not late. I was here on time. You can ask my teacher. And by the way, this wasn't a choice. My skirt just ripped. So me and her are going back and forth, and to the point where I just turned around and I walked away. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you. First of all, you're not my instructor. Second of all, you already done pissed me off. And third of all, like, you need to chill. So I go into the bathroom and I was like, oh dang, like, I need to figure out what I gotta do, because I didn't have a change of clothes or anything. Luckily for me, the girl that I was with, she was like, oh, I have some pants that you can wear. I was like, all right, cool. So I changed. I looked ridiculous because the shirt that I was wearing was meant to be tucked in. It wasn't like a pants type of shirt thing. So I ended up looking ridiculous. But anyway, she gave me my pants. She gave me some pants. So after that little altercation, I didn't think anything of it. Whatever. You're not going to sit here and yell at me and tell me that I meant to have my whole ass out at school. And who cares? I wasn't late. I don't care what you're saying, lady. So after that, after we went to the bathroom, I got myself situated. She gave me those pants. We went to lunch and I didn't think anything of it. So of course, we get back from lunch. I honestly forgot about the situation. I didn't think twice about it. So when we get back from lunch, I go inside and we're all just talking in the classroom or whatever. And then my teacher, she was like, hey, Samantha, can I talk to you? And I was like, yeah, what's up? So she like pulls me to the side and she was like, hey, there's like a lot of things going on. And like my teacher was very nice. Like, she was like, hey, is everything okay? Like, I hear that there's like a lot of things going on. Like, are you having a rough day today? Like, what's going on? And I'm just like, no, I'm not having a rough day. I was like, I think my skirt ripped, but that's about it. And she was like, okay, so like I told you, somebody said that you came in late today. And I was like, I'm not gonna say this again. I did not come in late today. I was on time. I went to my car to get my textbook, and then that girl decided not to let me back in, and then she told that instructor that I was late. Then they made a big deal about it, so I had to talk to the hours lady. I got that situated, and then my skirt ripped, and for whatever reason, that same educator thought that I just wanted to come in and put on a show for people. That was it. It's really not tea. It's really not anything crazy. I promise you, that's all to the story. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, like that's not a problem. I completely understand, like totally get it. I know that you were here on time. But the only thing is that we really need to work on how we, you know, talk to people. And I'm just like, I have to work on how I talk to people. I probably do need to work on how I talk to people. To this day, I still need to work on how I talk to people. But why is it? And this was my biggest problem with the school and the people that worked there and the people that went there. Why is it that you can sit here and do this whole mockery thing of like that whole little charade that you wanted to do? Why is it okay that you can do that and lie on me? And why can this instructor pretty much harass me about being late and my clothes and like yell at me in front of everybody thinking that I purposely came in with my butt? Like, but yet when I react to the way people are treating me, I get told that I need to calm down and I don't need to be that way and I don't need to do this and I don't need to do that. And she was like, oh, no. I'm not saying, like, I do not take this as an attack on you. I am not coming for you personally at all. I'm just letting you know what was told to me. I completely understand. It was probably a miscommunication, you know, and they love to throw that miscommunication word. No, it's called gaslighting. You people are gaslighting me. All you guys do is poke at me. And then when I do something, y'all just sit there and be like, oh my God, she's so crazy. She's so mean. There's a story. Let me know. Okay, so that's the end of the story to that. It wasn't anything juicy or anything crazy, but it was just another reason why I just couldn't stand cosmetology school. Like, all that happened in one day. I swear, I wanted to quit so bad. I used to come home because I lived with my sister when I went to cosmetology school. I used to come home and tell her and my brother-in-law, like, I hated going to that school, like, but I was in too deep. Like, I had already paid, like, I was in too deep. But it was just so frustrating because that was starting to be like the beginning of the end for me. I really started seeing that, like, they just, because this is just another side note, right? So I got like shunned because I said I never used Aveda before. I never heard of the brand before I went to the school, and they have very natural scented products. Like, everything is, you know, nature and rosemary, and to be honest, I'm just not that type of person. I'm all about fragrances and parabens and all that stuff that makes your hair smell good. You know, I use cheese, so I'm used to like my hair smelling like cologne. So when I sprayed the hairspray for the first time, I thought it was expired. I thought the hairspray went bad, and everybody just like went crazy on me because I didn't use the products beforehand and I said that they stunk. It was my opinion. I remember that day too. Oh my God. It was like that TikTok. You need to leave. Oh my God. But anyway, yeah. Let me know. That's what I was about to say. Let me know if you guys want a story, because this is not my story. This was my story, but the story about how they got this one girl expelled, like one of the only black girls in the school, she got expelled, but the white boy got to stay. Do y'all want that story? It's not mine, so I don't have all the details, but it was just like another one of those things where it's just like, okay, I see how it is over here. So yeah, that was one of my many encounters at cosmetology school that honestly just pissed me off. And it was annoying too, because I remember I said that I hated that school and I hated everybody in there, and one of the teachers, like, that I was actually cool with, took so much offense to that. She stopped talking to me. I'm like, girl, get over it. Like, But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. It wasn't, I don't know. I thought it was going to be a little bit more juicier, like a little bit better than what I thought. I don't know. Maybe it was in my head. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.